Hello everyone, and welcome to Stamp with Shel. My name is Shel Anderson, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Today we are going to play a little bit more with the product of the month. For the month of December, the product of the month is the True Blue Florals DSP. So we are going to have a play with that. And today it's all about the squares. Our card is going to have 12 squares from the DSP on the card, and each of those squares is 1 1/8 by 1 1/8. So this is going to be a great way to use up those little bits of scrap. Our card mat layer is 3 3/4 by 5. And our card base is 8.5 by 5.5. All right. The products that I've chosen for today are the Everyday Details dies, the Spotlight on Nature dies, and the Delicate Framing stamp set. I've also brought in some of the gold and silver twine from Days Gone By. Not sure if we're going to use that all or not, but we will find out. All right, so I have got my squares here, and we just have to figure out what is going to be the best visually appealing layout. We want to utilize all our patterns, and but we want it to be visually appealing. So we're just going to play around with it for a little bit and see what we can come up with. I think I'll use this one. And then we're going to need a darker one. Let's put this one over here. And then maybe this one to brighten things up. We'll put this one in the middle. Let's go, make sure I have my patterns going in the same direction. And then we can use this one. I think that looks pretty good. I have some extras here in case I want to switch anything out, but I think that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, oops, let's get rid of that little dollop of glue. I'm going to start by putting Tombow on the back of my first square, and I'm going to put it in the corner, making my border. And I'm hoping that I can get this right. And now on this side, I'm going to do the same thing, trying to match my borders. Now I'm going to move down to this corner. I like to get my corners in place first. And then once I have those anchors, I can work on the spacing from there, and hopefully I am successful. All right, so this one, we're just going to split the difference. All right, and then we'll do the same up here. Just eyeball it as best you can. So now all of these ones are still loose. We're going to work our way down one side. I'm just going to put it in place. Yeah, that's going to work. Just get our Tombow on there. and work our way down. Once we get them anchored on the sides, we will be able to fill in the center ones very easily. Right, I'm going to take these two out because they're distracting me. I'm trying to match that to that. And boom. So now we have these two to pop back in here. Let's get some adhesive on there. And boom, one more. This is a super easy card. Now, anybody who knows me, typically I do super easy cards. I don't like anything too terribly difficult. I just kind of like... Now there we have our card, and you notice what I did is I have the wrong size cardstock. How in the heck did I manage that? I put that, I thought that was supposed to be 3 3/4 by 5. Where's my ruler? And I put it on the wrong size. That's 5 1/2, 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. So guess what? We are going to wing it. I thought these spacings were a little bit large, but you know what? We are going to go with it, my friends. I am going to take just a sliver off this card base. Just a wee little sliver. Because this is going to be the full front of the card, I do not want any of my card base showing. All right, we're going to pop our card front onto our card base. So, the joys of live video, you get to see all my mistakes. So if I had cut this correctly, the margins would be much tighter. But I messed up, so we're going to go with it. There we go. That is our card thus far. Now I need, I have brought in a navy circle as well as a white circle. And we need to put a greeting on our circle. And I think I'm going to go with simply the best. I like that. Nice positive greeting. So let's bring in our Stamparatus. And we will get this stamped. And as you can see, that just fits nicely in there. And I'm going to grab Misty Moonlight ink. I like to stamp my greetings twice. And I find that if I use Night of Navy, it's too dark. Almost looks black if I stamp Night of Navy twice. And if I stamp Misty Moonlight twice, it looks like Night of Navy. Go figure. That's just a little tip for you if you run into the same problem. All right. Now, let's put this back in the case. Once again, this greeting is from the Delicate framing bundle. And I keep my stamps and dies in the same envelope. I'm loving the new packaging, just absolutely loving it. Takes up so much less space. So we're going to add some Tombow and pop that on there. Doesn't that look nice? A little pop of color. And now we just need some dimensionals. And I think I'm going to use a little bit of this silver thread just to give it a little something something, if you know what I mean. Now somewhere I have regular size dimensionals and they have taken a trip. So let me get in my drawer here and I will get another sheet. So on the back of this, I am going to add my dimensionals. Let's see. On this side, and down on this side. And then I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. If I can find it. There it is, hiding. And we'll remove those little backings. Alright, so now we have a sticky surface that will hold our twine. All right. Let me just move this around a little bit. I'm going to slide that over so that I can put that one there. And do a little bit bigger loop. Not too much, just a little bit bigger. And once again, we'll go down here and do the same. There we have it. Now I've got a little piece of Scotch tape. And I'm just going to add that there. Could have dealt with a little bit bigger piece. Let's bring in a piece of tear and tape. It's much more sticky. There we are. Let's put that right across there. All right, that'll hold that in place. Now we're going to need some more dimensionals. I think this is going to be well supported. What do you think? That went a little bit crazy with dimensionals. We'll get those paperbacks off. And flip this baby over and center that up. Make sure my greeting's straight, and then we'll pop that in place. How pretty is that? All right. Now, next up, my inside looks pretty plain. And I have a little strip of this DSP left. So I'm going to bring this in and I'm going to cut just a little strip. Just like that. And we'll make it 5.5. There we are. And then we'll be able to add this to the inside of our card to pretty that up a little bit. And I can go either way. Oh yes, I cut this card down a little bit, didn't I? I think I'm going to go with the dark. I like the dark. So I will add the adhesive and we'll pop this in place. I'm just running right along that score line, like so. And then we'll just trim off the excess. There we go. Now it's a little pretty on the inside too. All right, now we need a little bit of bling. Let's find some basic rhinestones somewhere in here. Somewhere in here I have basic rhinestones. I always like basic rhinestones when I go with the silver. I think they coordinate beautifully. All right. Let's get one of these big ones up here. And then we'll do a medium and a small. Beautiful. Beautiful. And that, my friends, is our All About the Squares card with product of the month. Now, as I said, I messed up. I didn't cut my matte layer correctly. So if you cut this to 3 3/4 by 5, you're going to have much tighter margins. And I should have realized that before I got as far as I did and cut it and then just flipped it over. But there is my version of a card that is definitely not correct, but it is still appealing. Okay, so that's a way that you can use up those little tiny scraps. These are 1 1/8 by 1 1/8. All right, that's it, my friends, for today. I will be back again with another card featuring the product of the month tomorrow. Bye-bye.